Welcome back to the mat. My name is Kat and I am your Nesta Sports Certified Yoga and Teacher. We're doing a summer book review on the writings and the Sutras of Patanjali as interpreted by his followers. And we are getting into Yoga Sutra 1.5 today. And I have with me my mascots, little Miss Darcy, you remember her, and Mr. Miyagi over here, Mimi. So anyhow, we wanted to briefly go through the different sutras to see how they correlate into our yoga. So we decided to do a complete book review on the writings of Patanjali as determined by his followers. So we're going to go ahead and talk about Yoga Sutra 1.5 today. And Yoga Sutra 1.5 is a rather complex sutra out of all the sutras. It digs deep into our thought process. So what basically it's telling us is there's 5 kinds of thoughts. There's colored thoughts and not colored thoughts. The sutra introduces the nature of the 5 kinds of thoughts and the fact that they are either colored, which is klishta, or not colored, aklishta. Suggests that the entire process of yoga, in the process that you will gradually, systematically set aside all of the false identities that cloud over your true self. This uncoloring process is an extremely important concept as it's further dealt with as we go into chapters 2.1 through 2.10 of the sutras, of the different sutras. Now, if we remember that about our vriddhis, they are our desires or attachment. They're also referred to in Sanskrit as the vritya. And the klishta, to elaborate a little bit more on the klishta, is colored, painful, afflicted, impure, and the root word klish means to cause trouble. Klishta is a noun, and the adjective, of course, is klishta. Aklishta, being opposite that, is uncolored, not painful, not afflicted, pure, and the root of it means without or in the absence of, hence without the coloring of klishta, so aklishta for non-colored. When we talk about our five thoughts that we have with this particular sutra, we have thinning the veil. The joy of deeper meditation comes through uncoloring the mental obstacles that veil the true self. So we define what yoga is in 1 through 4. The process of experiencing the goal of yoga, self-realization, begins now in 1.5 and goes forward. 5 kinds of interfering thoughts. There are 5 types of interfering mental impressions that block the realization of the true self. Knowing correctly, incorrect knowing, imagination, deep sleep, and memory. The yogi learns to witness these 5 kinds of thoughts with non-attachment, discriminate between these 5, and cultivate the first type of thought, which is to know correctly. And that will be Sutra 1.7 when we get into that. They're either colored or they're not colored. These thought patterns may be colored, klishta, or not colored, aklishta. The coloring has to do with ignorance, I-ness, attachments, aversions, and fears. The simple observation of whether thought patterns are colored or not colored is extremely useful in part of the process of purifying and balancing, stabilizing, or calming the mind so that we can allow deeper meditation to come in. The next section is witnessing, exploring, and uncoloring. By learning to explore and become witness to these 5 types of your thoughts, and by learning to allow the coloring to fade away, through the various processes of yoga meditation, the veil over your truth can gradually thin, and we will come to experience our own true self. Most important, the uncoloring process is an extremely important concept, and it is further dealt with in later chapters when we get into the 2.1, the Yoga Sutra 2.1. It is such an important concept that it is virtually impossible to practice yoga without understanding it. And the funny thing about this is that for 20 years, I've practiced yoga without understanding it completely, as do many people. And then when you dig deep into the beginning of the Gita and the sutras, you find yourself confused. So that's why it's a process that I felt that was so worthwhile, that we should take the time to explore each sutra one at a time, and try to understand how it correlates to our yoga practice. So think about the vrittis and desires in your life, your attachments, and part of the purification process of what you can clean out, unclutter, let go. And that's what I want you to dig deep into. What is it that you desire, and what is it that you can disassociate with, or non-attachment to? What are those desires? And you'll find over time, and I know this sounds right now crazy, but over time you can disassociate with every desire. So that's the path that the author is trying to express to you, is that what the vrittis are, to recognize the vrittis and to recognize them in your own life, and how you can later learn the steps to non-attachment of the vrittis. And then of course we get into other subject matter. I hope everybody has a great week, and if you're just joining us for the first time, please go back and just do yourself a favor and start from Sutra 1. Pick up the book, Demystifying Patanjali, and start with us in the book. And I wish everyone a great day. Thank you so much. Namaste.